Hello, my lovely. You didn't get to where you are in your business by doing shit the way that everybody else does. And you know that what got you to where you are now is not going to get you to where you want to be. And if you are listening to this podcast, it's because you want to be the go-to for what you do better than anywhere else. Your unrepeatable stack of genius is the niche. Being you, that bold, unfuckwithable presence that you've been secretly craving to set free, she's in there and she's ready to come home. But that means you will have to burn some bridges down. And attracting your fuck yes dreamy clients will also repel those who are not for you. Fucking hooray. Because becoming a force of nature business and brand means no more Miss People Pleaser, no more hiding your turbo brain, no more dimming down jack shit. And if you have ever been told to turn it down as a woman with later life diagnosed ADHD, it is time to tone your shit all the way back up. That is how you create unstoppable momentum in your business and visibility, even though it's something you may have been avoiding. It's what you truly want, and this is how you get it. This podcast is about stepping up into your upgrade because watering down anything never changed the fucking world. You were not born to be forgettable. And as one of my all-time favorite quotes says, well-behaved women rarely make history, and nothing about you or me is well-behaved, at least not anymore. In today's episode, I am bringing on my friend Pollock. Oh my gosh, we have the best conversations. And when I was on her podcast, I knew I needed to bring her over here because I was able to speak about self-trust, the self-trust gap and all of that jazz on her episode. And man, she brought it for mine. We talked about marketing for neurodivergent people in a way that is not necessarily social media focused, either not at all, or it's more of a part of your marketing versus all of it. And so if you have been wanting to explore additional ways to market your business, this is a conversation that you are going to love. And both Polly and I are very divergent thinkers. So it's great because we were able to talk about the different ways we help our clients and give some examples. So I hope you enjoy this conversation so much. And before we get into it, if you are done working with normie coaches and you're ready to talk to someone who just gets you, who just freaking gets you, book my free 30-minute clarity call. It is not a coaching call. It is a diagnostic call. It is to look at where you are, what's working, what's not working, what your business growth, where it has maybe stopped or halted, if it doesn't feel right to you, to your brain, or you've been trying to follow all these normie coaching industry business strategies that aren't working for you. They work against your brain. It's time to start working with it. And since you're my specialty, you need to DM me on Instagram at Carry Out Loud or apply to work with me. Both links are in the show notes. So let's get into it and meet Polly. I am so excited to have my guest today. She is going to introduce herself, tell you what she does, and we're going to talk a little bit about something that I've never even brought to the podcast before, technically. So, sweet friend of mine, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are, what you do, and all that jazz.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. So my name is Pollock and I am a marketing coach specifically for neurodivergent and ADHD online business owners. And more recently, I have focused on bringing this whole shindig to focus on off social media strategies. I know so many people in 2026 are feeling the weight of social media and feeling like it's just not a place for their unique strengths or solely for their unique strengths and to find their people. So that's really my thing.
That's so freaking awesome. So let's dive right on in. Elaborate on that. What got you started on, okay, I want to help neurodivergent people, but take them off of social media, or even just make not their social media, is it more like make their social media not even their primary marketing, but a place they play around, or like literally not, like, tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, so it's honestly both. Like some people want to use it just for fun. Some people want to use it still, but not as like a primary thing. And then some people just are like, I hate this shit. I want to get off. I was just about to ask you, like, Carrie, can I swear on this? And I'm like,
Girl, fuck yeah, girl. There's an E. There's a little E attached. And if anybody's little virgin ears are burning, you can just turn it off right now, because the fuck word is going to be had on this show, especially with the two of us, because when neurodivergent people are together and we're sweary, we just tend to.
It's crazy.
Let it fly.
Yeah, I'm so used to asking, and then I'm like, oh wait, it's Carrie. Anyway,
No.
so and me.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Some people want to use it kind of, for fun, or have a social media optional marketing strategy, and then some people are like, I just can't stand this shit, so I want to get off of it.
Sure.
And really, I've been a marketing coach for neurodivergent business owners for a while now, specifically a couple years, but this kind of move has been a newer one, and that really came from me. It really came from me at the beginning of this year, end of last year, kind of saying like, I'm taking a step back from Instagram. I'm actually off of Instagram pretty much now. I don't post. If I do post, it's something that's like I'm doing a collab with someone just for fun, but it's not a part of my marketing
it's like
strategy.
A presence, so that if somebody looks for Polly, they're going to find Polly. And be able to message Polly, but there's not active content going out from you. Gotcha. That's fabulous, by the way.
That's exactly it. Thank you. I mean, I love it. I mean, and I'm not on Threads anymore. I really have pulled back on the social media side of things.
That's fascinating. I love this topic so hard.
Yeah. I needed to do it. And in turn, I kind of looked at what my other marketing avenues were doing for me. And I honestly thought social media was doing more for me than it was, until you do that in your review and you're like, this shit is not as worth it as I thought it was. So, and it's crazy. And Instagram specifically is definitely one of those platforms that kind of pulls the wool over your eyes a little bit. And I was sort of just reflecting, and I was like, I just don't need this anymore, and I don't enjoy it. It's just not something that I like personally. I announced that I was coming off of social media, and the messages and the response that I got from that, partially from my NFSA students, which is my coaching program.
What's the name of it? What's the full name of it?
The full name is the Neuro-Friendly Sales Accelerator.
It's so good. Okay.
I love it. It's my baby. It's literally my baby.
I love it.
It's my baby.
Well, rockabye, because that's a good baby.
It is. It's literally, it has become my child, my everything. And even students in there were kind of saying, oh yeah, like I don't want to focus on social media either. Like probably like 90% of them said that, and I was like, wow, I said to you before you don't have to, and they're like, yeah, but now I feel like I really can, and I'm like, just
because you were brave enough to say it. Because you were brave enough to say it. Is that why they're saying that?
Yeah, for sure. I think there was definitely an element of like that. And the ones that I thought were killing it, they were like, I hate this shit. And I'm like, why do you do it then? So yeah, it's weird to see I think everyone who I come into contact with who they kind of say, they're on social media, they end up saying like, I don't enjoy it, but I kind of do it because I have to, or they feel like they are the one that's going to speak out of turn if they say, I personally just don't enjoy it and don't want to be on it, because they think that there's no other way. And anyway, so that has been the thing that really started this whole thing off. And then the response that I just got was so overwhelming that I was like, I have to just specialize even more now. And I think 2026 needs this. It really does.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's not that I think people are going to get off of social media. I think Instagram is having this moment where they're chasing TikTok so fucking hard, and TikTok's algorithm, and Instagram also for business coaches, business mentors, everything like that. A lot of people have decided to run ads and do just like very low ticket ads and then their content kind of as that top of funnel, right? And so I'm just like looking at all the ways that people are using it in a different way. They're coming off of Instagram, going over to Threads because they love wording more. But it is so fascinating because there are things like podcasts, newsletters, and I'd love you to kind of go into, this would be a perfect parlay. Give us some examples of what it would look like in your world to run a business, not using social primarily or at all. What does that look and feel like? I don't know. Tell me, sister.
Well, I'm gonna give you a rundown of my personal week by
Okay.
week, if you like, because I think that that's
Yeah,
probably the
no, I
easiest
love that.
is to show you what I do. And this is
Yeah.
so important because the majority of the conversations I have with people is like, I want to come off of Instagram, but I don't even know where to start. I don't even know how I
Right.
would run a social media free business. And or
Right.
again, like, it doesn't even have to be social media free. It can be social media optional.
Light. Very light. Yeah.
Very light. Yeah. Like I want to also preface this by saying 2026 is different from 2020. And
Oh,
I think people
my God.
are,
Yes.
yeah, I think people still expect to be able to like fart basically and have clients come in on Instagram. Like,
so oh my God.
It doesn't happen like
There's
that anymore. Yeah. 10K.
No, you
yeah.
used to-
Fuck
yeah. Yeah. Well, it's funny too, because like follower count, it really means dick.
Yeah.
It really does.
Means
It's like,
dick.
I have 1,500. I have 1,500 right now. I think you have 25,000. We probably get similar reach.
You know? Oh man, you probably get better reach than me at this point because I'm inactive. But oh yeah, no, your follower count does not work off of reach and vice versa anymore. No, definitely doesn't. No, definitely
it really
doesn't.
And I think that just also having a blue check mark so that people know that your license and your information has been put into Instagram and they verified you. I'm sure there's ways around that too. Okay, that's great. Good for those people who are assholes. But for the most part, that blue check mark lets me know this isn't a bot, it's a human. That is a huge one for me, but I don't know if that's a huge one for anybody else. But the reality is I want to sit with the person and talk to them and see if we vibe.
Yeah.
So
sure.
Show us let me shut my pie hole and have you share what your week looks like.
Yeah. But you're so right. Just before I kind of get into that, you're so right. Like, you want to talk to the person before making a purchase. And like, as coaches as well, it's really important that we put that right at the top of your marketing priorities. Because 2020 to maybe like 2022, if you're lucky. Well, no, not even 2020, pre-2021, 22. It was very easy to make a sale on social media in comparison. People's trust was a lot higher. And I actually have I hold the opinion that what we're seeing now might be harder for business owners, but it's better for the world and it's better for people because people are getting smarter with their buying choices in the coaching industry. And as a coach, I'm sure you will agree, there's some funky shit going. Yeah, like there is some funky shit going on. And there always has been and there always will be. But we need to make sure
when I heard about the financing, like people offering financing for their coaching programs, I'm like,
oh my God, yeah, I know.
Sending people to like financial advice. I'm like,
crazy.
Okay, no. Yeah,
fuck that.
Yeah. It's definitely been some crazy chaos. Fuck that.
Yeah,
precisely.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, we're all big girls. If we need to take out a loan or open up a credit card, we don't need prompting from some weird coach to like. I've heard that people have teams that will help people set up loans.
Yes,
that's so weird to me. That's so strange.
Yes.
I
can't even fathom that. And I know there are mentors who are like 6 figures per year and they do not offer financing. Again, like you said, big girl panties. If you want to make that investment, because some people do, I don't need you to tell me how to invest in it. And I think that part of that is so they don't default. I think that if they set it up through themselves, they think, oh, the person won't default. Anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So there's been some wild
crazy shit. Yeah, but that's why, people's trusts are at a low, and it really is going back to, in my view, what people were like before the rise of social media and that kind of impulse buying in the coaching industry. And it's like people want to have conversations with you. People want to actually jump on sales calls or discovery calls. People want to have DM conversations with you. People aren't just going to look at your 2K program and just jump straight in unless they're super warm and they've had some kind of interaction with you. That's just my personal, I've been doing this for a hot minute. I just think this is how it's going back to, which is a good thing. So I really think that
It's really
It is good. It is good. It is. And so we have to adapt our marketing to that, like first and foremost in 2026. So my kind of off social strategy looks a little bit like this. So I will, and the way that I break it down in the way that I coach is obviously we look at sustainable visibility. So this is actually how you're getting visible, how you're actually building a reputation in the right places. And this is, I emphasize in the right places and not just getting visible everywhere, because that's just as bad as posting a reel and hoping to go viral, you know? So you want to be really well researched in am I going to be able to put the most intentional effort that's not going to burn me out, that's actually going to get me in front of the right potential leads. Then obviously we have community warming, and this is like the second part of what I teach, warming up your email community and building trust with your email community. And this is where a lot of people get a little bit like, oh, this is something that I haven't really done before, because isn't email marketing dead? Is email marketing still a thing?
Oh my God, no. No.
Honestly.
What the fuck? That's why I have my newsletter. My newsletter has like a 60% open rate, because I talk about a little bit about business, but I fucking just talk about life and anyway.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like that email is such a good place where you can do all of it. Like I send 2 emails out a week, and one will be, well, I've literally just sat down today to rejig my email plan, because I'm moving into a little promo thing. So actually I'll give you the new plan. So I send my newsletter out on a Sunday, and that normally goes into a little bit about, like, I really like to do like a bit of storytelling in that and really give my audience something to connect to on a real emotional level. But then I also like to drop some teaching and trainings in there as well, because, you know, value first, but not boring. And then midweek I'll send another email that will be an invite to something that I'm doing that I can't announce yet every week. So it's not in action yet. I'm like, oh God, I want to talk about it.
Off this call, I'm making Polly tell me, so y'all gonna be jealous. Polly's gonna tell me and not you. Just kidding.
Do you know what? No, fuck it. I'm just gonna say. No, I can't keep my mouth shut. I'm doing like a weekly like community coaching session that was monthly, but I'm now moving it to weekly. I can't keep my mouth shut. I'm so terrible at doing it.
The cutest. If you want me to cut, if you end up at the end of this wanting
me
to
don't.
cut that out, I will. Okay.
No,
okay.
Don't do it.
That's
Keep
fabulous.
it. But you know, that's something that I'll like promote every week now, and just make sure my email knows exactly where to come find me. And again, intentional effort and doing less. I'm not the type of person that wants like 3 low ticket offers that I'm rotating between in a week, and then 1 high ticket, and then I just can't be. My brain cannot. I just want a really open and high touch space that I can connect with people, and in turn warm my community up. And if it's a fit, you know, they'll make their way into NFSA. So anyway, community.
Where do you hold that? Where are you planning to hold that?
That's just literally going to be on Google Meet, and it's just going to be a drop-in session.
Awesome.
Super chill.
Freaking fabulous.
Yeah.
Easy peasy lemon freaking squeezy. That's awesome. Awesome.
Exactly. Yeah. And I really think like my philosophy is just like as lean and easy as possible, but as like intentional as possible as well. Like for me, showing up live, answering questions and teaching is so easy personally that it doesn't feel like work. But me sitting down and creating warm-up offers and pre-creating trainings, that to me does feel like work. And I know that traditionally that has, like historically even, that has converted less, because my people really enjoy showing up live, getting in the moment. And I know that as an ADHD, you're going to download something and it's going to sit in your fucking email for 2 weeks, because it's like, oh, I forgot that was there. So
what? What are you talking about? You mean the email
graveyard?
Cemetery?
Oh man,
that everything goes to that you check in 2 weeks. Yeah, I got it.
It's so savage, isn't it? Like there are so many things in my email that really I think about at like 3 a.m. I'm like, oh, and it's stuff that I really value. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch that on my like lunch hour that I take tomorrow, and then I never do.
Not so much.
And it sits in there for another, not so much. Yeah. So warming up your email community and really putting that because I think when you're on social media and you think of warming up your community, you think, okay, I've got to warm people up on email, then social media, then I've got to do this on my stories, then I've got to warm people up through this offer and that offer, and then I've got to do my launch. And it's all so complicated for a lot of our brains.
Right.
And
For
it can be really overwhelming. So we really look at focusing on email community as the sole place to warm people up. And as I said before, like really giving people an inroad to meet you in person in some sort of capacity is so important for 2026. So yeah, then in the third thing I teach is obviously then planning out your sales system, looking at how you're actually going to weave in your main offer or offers into that. But in terms of visibility, I think visibility is the thing that people really struggle with. Like, where am I going to go if it's not social media? So here we kind of look at, I see this in two different ways. Well, there's obviously many, but two main ways that people tend to enjoy most. Long form content and collaborations. So long form content is your YouTube, podcasting, blogging, that kind of thing. And this is where it gets to be so beautiful, because take my students as an example. Some of them are not the type of people that enjoy being on video. Most of them are, but some of them aren't. So they'll go for things like blogging, writing articles, that kind of thing. But others will go for podcasting and YouTube or a mixture of the two. And this is where my kind of philosophy comes in, of the fact that there are 1,001 ways to market and build a successful business off of social media. And I really believe that you should be doing it in line with your unique strengths, and you shouldn't be like, we all have things and fears to overcome, but I don't think you should fundamentally every single day be forcing yourself into something that you just don't enjoy doing. And I think the business world and even the self-development world really does make us think, oh, you have to just grind away at the things that you don't like, because that's pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. And I think that there's nuance to that. I don't think it's always that.
There's a lot of nuance to that. There's a lot of nuance to that. Yeah.
I think so. So long form content, and then collaborations, and this is where you can really grow fast. Long form content is a bit of a long game. You have to really put a lot of time and effort into it. Collaborations, so podcast guesting, obviously, even guest teaching in people's programs or events, being a speaker at summits. There's actually things like bundles and list growth activities that you can donate products to. They're amazing. They grow your list so freaking fast. It's insane.
This was even a fucking thing. And I'm like,
it's crazy.
What? I've been humping it this whole time, one person at a time. Are you joking me? Like,
that's it. That's it. And that's exactly why I think when it comes to email list building, people are like, yeah, well, every time I've tried to get my my social media people onto my list, it's just one person every 2 weeks, and it's just one person at a time. Whereas through collaborations, through that kind of audience borrowing, especially, you see that come through a lot quicker, especially if it's like a summit or an event. You'll see, like, I mean, on a good day, I've had like 100 people join my list in a day. It's mental. Like, that is a good day, but otherwise it's like, you know, when the event's going on, like 10 a day, maybe, like, it's really good.
I literally just experienced that. I'm in a mastermind that's not even a mastermind. It's a mastermind networking group. It's so cool, right? It's very peer related too. And so I contributed something into their bundle for St. Patrick's Day, and holy shit balls. I was like, boom, 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 boom. I was like, this is the best day. You know, because I very clearly say it's for people with ADHD. So I know I use that word specifically because if I'm for you, I am. If I'm not, or if you think maybe I am, right? If you think you might have ADHD or ADHD, that is something you're going to gravitate to. And that is not something that's offered a lot. So when I do see those coming in, that term was in their ADHD, I know they're qualified already as just being the type of person that I want to bring in. So that's such a cool, that's fabulous. Yeah.
You've touched on such a good point there. And it's it's really important that when you do look at visibility off social media in general, but especially in like when you're showing up in other people's audiences and doing things like online events and stuff like that. It's
online.
I mean, it's the same fucking thing, but yeah,
exactly.
Just words. It's really important that you do clarify your unique positioning, because you're right. You know that they're already qualified leads to a degree because they are your ICA. You're not just like, some people will kind of put in random like tools that are very, very broad. And then I would kind of say that's not going to be as good. You might attract more people, but more is not better. And I got quite a lot of pushback from a few people when I mentioned these kind of list growth opportunities in the past, because they're like, oh yeah, I've done those in the past and they weren't qualified leads. And I kind of said,
did you qualify them in your title?
Yeah, exactly. It's all in the clarity as well. And this is the thing in marketing that people miss. And like, I always do this like clarity work with all my students before we even think about getting into that, because you need to know exactly what you are, who you're talking to, and what your USP is.
Yeah. And that's, pardon me. I decided to burp. I'm having soda water.
Better out than in.
Take it out. You know what? Fuck it.
Leave it in.
No, I have to leave it. Look, you know, after the last couple of weeks of what I had been really sick for a couple of weeks and had downtime where I really was forced to like sit and think about just business, how to show up, marketing, all that jazz. And if somebody doesn't like hearing us burp here because I drink soda water and joking about it, then you're probably not my people or our people, you know, like you get to be feral and still own a business, right? Like, I think that's really the key point. But I love the fact that you and I are similar in the way we see things. Like I help with business mentorship, like the core of it, like the whole business, right? You definitely focus on the marketing aspect, but I know there's crossovers, right?
Yeah.
So there are times, like I do ask my clients if they're on Instagram, oh, I hate Instagram. Like, do you want to still be there? And they're like, what? Like they don't even realize it's a concept that they can just maybe put a 9 grid up there so that they exist and have their DMs so that they exist. And that is all that they need, so that if somebody does find them that way, they have access to you. But that does not mean you have to keep humping it out. And I'll tell you, I'm exploring all kinds of, I'm having fun right now doing what you're talking about. I've always loved my email list, so I'm definitely growing that. But I've started kind of playing around on Substack. And I've started playing around on Threads, even though that's technically social media. It's the words. We love words. We're wordy people, right? So why not take some of the words and put them over there? And I've actually gotten clients from Threads just from like random little comments. But at the end of the day, you know what gets me the most business? The thing we're talking on right now.
Podcast,
Hands down.
I love that.
They find me, they find my Instagram, then they go and they listen on my podcast, or I'm sure they do this with you, listen to your podcast, and then come in and say, hi, I want to book a call. You know, that's happens more regularly than anything else. So knowing that and understanding that, you know, optimizing your podcast or whatever, optimizing that thing where you are at, making sure it's reaching out to all the people in all the ways that it needs to be is key. So if you can think of this off the top of your head, give me an example of one or two of your students, how they came into you and what they were struggling with, like not wanting to do anymore, and then what you did to help them shift and what that shift did for them. And I'm going to stop this thing from making sounds. Okay.
I didn't even hear it. I was just listening to you. Okay, awesome. So we'll use, oh my God, who do I want to use as an example? Okay, so I'm like, should I use my student's actual name? We'll call her Doris.
You don't need to
obviously,
use it.
her name is Doris. We'll call her Doris. It's not fucking Doris. It's obviously
we got Doris.
So Doris, she's amazing. Doris is booked and busy. She's actually now in NFSA for the second time because she chose to extend last month, which was just a joy to keep having her on. But she came in with I think at the time she'd been in business for about 6 months. So she was really, really new. And she had a goal of how many clients she wanted to get, and she surpassed that in the first kind of 2 months. I think even 2 to 3 months. She was killing it, but she was very much stuck on Instagram, and she did not like Instagram. The thing that I love doing with people is looking at your own data. I always say, look at your own data, look at what's working. And I love doing that with people, because it's almost like I know it's going to be a surprise at this point for people. And I just love watching people's faces light up, and they're like, oh, I didn't fucking realize that I didn't need to be on like doing the shit that I hate. Because funnily enough, who knew? Things probably aren't going to come from you do, like results don't tend to follow when you do things that you hate, because you don't show up with the same energy. So, you know, she, long story short, kind of realized that she wasn't going to keep plugging away on Instagram, because her SEO, without us even working on it, had actually been doing a really good job. She was getting found on ChatGPT of all places. LinkedIn, although that is technically a social media platform, again, like, I'm not anti-social media. I'm not saying don't ever use social media. I'm just saying don't make it your primary thing, and use your platforms selectively and intentionally. So anyway, she came off of Instagram specifically, and went to focus more on SEO. She started a blog. She focuses on LinkedIn, and she really, really ramped up her email marketing, her email list, and actually brought people onto there. And now what she's doing at this point is she's actually bringing people from LinkedIn to her blog, and she's converting people really, really well from her blog onto her email list. And obviously her email list is, she's warming people up on there, and that's really working like a well-oiled machine at the moment, and she's enjoying it. And this is the thing, like, she's enjoying writing, and that's her bag, and just she's finding it so easy. Like, she used to have such a bad time. Like, her struggle, her sticking point was creating these Canva graphics of like carousels on Instagram, and she I remember she'd just come to these weekly calls, and you know, I thought the graphics looked great, but she would just be like, I'm staring at it and I hate it, and I just don't want to post it. And it just wasn't working with her, and she wasn't getting any leads from there. And, you know, eventually,
well, of course not, because that's going to translate. No, but of course that's going to translate into your content, just straight up. Like, if you're listening, you're like, I'm putting these out and I hate it. Trust me. That's why you're not getting traction. That's a huge part of it. The intention behind it is not there of, you really want to be there. You really want to be doing this. And plus, we have interest-based brains, novelty-based brains. If we don't like something, it's going to be the bane of our existence, right?
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great example.
And that, I mean, she's happy as well. Like, what I really care about beyond like clients and money coming in, obviously that's you know, that's what we want, that's what people pay me for ultimately. But it's not, I care about the happiness of, are you going to be able to sustain this? Are you feeling lit up with your marketing? Do you actually feel like the joy and the fun is back in? And also, she's doing like collaborations and everything like that, which she's ramping up currently, now that she feels kind of, she's gotten stable with the other side of things. But
she has a foundation now.
She has a foundation, exactly.
Oh, that's so good.
That's one example.
That's awesome. It's interesting because I have a very similar example. You know, I had a client who came to me thinking she had to be on every platform. Look, we'll talk about someone like Gary Vee. That man has a team. Is he on all platforms? Sure. He's got a team putting him on all those platforms. They are filming raw footage and all that stuff all the time, and he's putting that out, right? Somebody like that with a massive team who wants that kind of visibility, that wide visibility, that costs a lot of money to get that visibility, right? But that's part of his business. Some of us think we have to do that because that's what we see, bigger, huge or accounts. Some people come to me thinking they need to do that, and I'm like, no, we can pick a couple places intentionally based on how you function and have you show up there. Like, my client came to me with a fairly successful podcast. She had just started it. She didn't know what was going to be or where was going to go, but she knew eventually it was going to be part of her business. So when she came to me, she already had that, no systems. So we put some systems together, put together 2 offers that were perfect for her and her clients. And now she markets on her podcast using SEO and on Threads sometimes if she feels like it, Instagram sometimes if she feels like it, and her newsletter. And she has so many client inquiries, she can't keep up. And she's not on social. She might throw stuff over onto, where's the other one? Oh, YouTube. She does some, she'll throw shorts over onto YouTube also.
Yeah.
But she's literally, her primary focuses are the podcast and the calls to, the things that were missing on the podcast was calls to action. Literally, it was that one tweak that opened up the faucet, right? Like, you gotta ask for the clarity call. Towards the beginning and towards the end, right? Like, this is a call to action, just like you would put in any piece of content on social media, right? That little tweak started opening it up. And then her really leaning into her knowledge. She's a PhD, and to the conversation she has with her co-host, who's like one of her best friends. And when I told her, this is plenty, she's all, like, it wasn't even a concept that she could market in just that way and get leads, right? There's other things like going into Facebook groups and interacting, going onto social media and interacting with other people. It's like, you want to be social on social. Look, it's not 2020, 2022 in between that. People are not going to just plop in your lap. You actually now have to work for your business. And I've been working for 27 years on and off as an entrepreneur. And I used to cold call for 8 hours a day. And I would rather market in these other ways and find the way that worked for me than ever do that kind of shit again, right? So we are very lucky and blessed to have social media, and a majority of it being free unless we choose to pay to play, choose ads, right? But I love that you and I are both similar in the fact that we can share with our clients, hey, you know, there's another way to do this. And they're like, there is? Because we're so used to like success on Instagram is all we see everywhere. We don't see somebody on Instagram going, hey, you know, there's different ways to do this. What is the moment for you when your students finally see it, when the light bulb finally goes off? What's that moment like for you as a mentor, as a coach, just to like literally see it happen?
I think it's the sense of relief that gets me every time, of like, you can almost see people's shoulders like relaxing. Yes. And it's like, for some people listening to this, they might be thinking, what the fuck? I love social media. I get so many like inquiries from social media because I love it so much. And if that is you, that's awesome. As long as you're happy and you enjoy it and you're getting results, go off, like fucking slay. But for the majority of the people that I work with, they don't. And really allowing yourself to be open to, there are other ways. And again, it's the trust thing of, if you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know that whether someone is just like flogging you another marketing hack these days. But look, this way of marketing has been around long before Instagram showed up, and people run successful businesses and still do a lot of the time run successful businesses without even touching Instagram, me included now. As of the last few months.
Which is amazing to see, you know, because again, not that follower counts matters, but it just goes to show you that bigger doesn't always mean better. Bigger doesn't always feel better. Social media, even if you have a solid presence, doesn't always feel good, because especially as ADHDers or neurodivergent people, we don't not always have a problem being seen, like showing up, doing video, whatever. We have a problem with being perceived, or should I say misperceived, misconstrued, right? And here we are trying to like put who we are into 2,200 characters or less. And some of us are like, I kind of write more than that, right? So then we can figure out, is long form something better for them? Asking those questions, making sure that if they are showing up on social media, on Instagram, that great. It's like, don't fix what's not broken, but make tweaks when it is. And then inside if something just doesn't feel good, if something doesn't feel right? So when your clients get to you, how do they usually come to you? Like you were saying, when you open up the call, their shoulders are at their fucking ears, right? And then by the time they leave, you can literally see the weight falling off of them.
Yeah.
At what point do you find they come to you? Like when your clients first arrive, how do they arrive to you?
Yeah, I think when they first join the program, why did I make that sound like a cult or some shit? When you first joined the program.
It is a cult when you first joined my cult. When you join next to you. I'm just kidding.
I just banged my head. Nexium. Oh no.
I'm like, don't bang your head.
I'm okay.
You don't go anywhere.
I'm all good.
All right?
Honestly, there was just that one last brain cell just hanging in there, and now it's just fucking gone. Like, that was the one that just was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Girl, bye, Carrie. See you later.
Bye. Oh, but when people first join NFSA, they do, I think there's just this level of stress. And even sometimes if we're on a weekly call and we have our weekly group calls that, you come and you get, allocate a time for one-to-one support. Even when I know that sometimes my students everybody has bad weeks, right? Or weeks where things feel like, oh my God, I've got so much to do, or, I've got so much to think about. I always love just helping people organize their thoughts and their to-dos, or if something's feeling particularly overwhelming, sometimes just having that support from a coach who understands how the neurodivergent brain works, people just leave. And often it's like oh, I don't know what all the fuss was about. Oh, I don't know why I was. Thanks, Polly. It's just like sometimes, yeah, there's a lot going on in here, and I think that's what people feel when they first join NFSA, especially, is like, I think it's just, I've got so many spinning plates in the air, and I just don't know what to focus on with my marketing. I feel like there's this constant pressure to be everything all at once, and I'm always fucking behind, and I'm always just in my own head, and I'm always getting advice from some dick on Instagram, and then I'm listening to Gary V telling me that I need to be everywhere. And I just want to say, I love Gary V with the bottom of my heart. I've had dreams where Gary V is like giving me a hug, and he's like, it's going to be okay at like hard times in business. I'm not even joking.
We love him. Genuinely, we love him. But
I love him. But I wish he'd shut the fuck up sometimes and stop telling people to be everywhere at once, because it's insane. Gary V has a huge team of like thousands of employees at VaynerX. And, even at the beginning of his podcast, it's not even him doing his intro. It's some guy going, welcome to the Gary V audio experience. You know what I mean? He's not there doing all of the marketing. So, solopreneurs have it different.
Yeah. And it's funny. I remember back to 2021 when I joined my first coaching cohort that I ever did for myself for my online business, because I ran two other businesses, not online, when dinosaurs roam the earth. So, so basically, oh, damn it. I lost my thought. What was I saying? I will be cutting this out.
When you had your first business after your online business, after your offline business,
I literally lost the whole thought.
Oh wait, when you said, is it gone? Is it one of those? It's not coming back. I
don't know. If I can go back and connect the dots, like Gary V, being everywhere, everything everywhere, all the time, all at once. Big teams. When I had my first business. Yeah, no, it's gone.
It's gone. Oh no.
I know.
Okay.
All right, let's see where I can pick back up.
We start fresh?
Let me try to think of what I want to put here. So, really, it's fucking gone. That's so wild.
Do you know, I've nearly done that like 3 times in this episode, and I've literally just been like, fuck, it's going, and then I've managed to save it. Oh, it's horrible, isn't it? Oh, no. Man. Well,
it is. I think maybe I will leave it. Because this is real. This is what we experience as online business owners, having conversations with each other, But
it's
let me ask you. Let's go back to asking you a question, and maybe it'll come back to me. So when you started is it a community that you have? Is it how does that all work? What does it look like? Like, if I was going to say, okay, I'm hiring you, Polly, what are the next few things that happen, and what can somebody expect from working with you?
Yeah, so the Neuro-Friendly Sales Accelerator is literally the only thing that I do at this stage. I used to do, high touch one-to-one. I used to do sessions. I used to have a membership, and now it's literally just NFSA. And that is purely because I wasn't prepared to cut out any quality, and I want to make sure that I give my students everything. Everything that I can without burning myself to the ground, basically.
Correct.
And I think NFSA is so hybrid as well. Like, essentially what we do within the week structure. We will have our group calls, which happen normally on a Wednesday. But you come with your question for what you want to go over, and then you'll get that hot seat coaching. But then on a Tuesday and a Thursday, we have feedback days where in our Slack channel, you can either give me a voice note rundown of what's been going on with a few questions. You can send me one like large piece of work, or like a sales page or something like big that you want reviewing. You can send me 3 smaller things each day every week, so twice a week, and then I will respond normally with a video feedback of me going through your stuff in real time. And that is I used to do Monday to Friday voice note support with people, but people love this so much more, and you get so much more out of it as well. And they're like, oh my God, this doesn't feel so overwhelming. I feel like I'm actually like moving forward way faster with this kind of support. And I love it as well. So it's not a traditional group program because it is so high touch and so one-to-one. I'm the kind of person that I've never really enjoyed memberships personally, just me, because it's felt very hands off. And I've learned now that I want to work with people so closely, but I love doing it in more of a group setting where it's that mix. That's NFSA really. And then obviously you get the full curriculum.
And we talked on your podcast about the fact that both of us love being high touch, hands-on, and figuring out a way to do that, but also thinking about scalability. And I think that there's this belief out there in the business world of Instagram specifically, that if you're not wanting to make 6 figures or 7 figures, there's something wrong with you. And not everybody wants to do that. But here's the thing. If you don't want to do that, let's find what your goals are and get you there. So if that's 50K a year inside income or full-time income, or if that, if it's a multi-million-dollar company, it can be everything in between. But I also can tell you what it's like to facilitate that and carry that, to make sure that they understand what the pieces are. And sometimes they're like, oh yeah, the pieces sound great, we can make this work for my brain. Other times they're like, no, I don't want to do that. So it really is navigating that whole thing with them and making sure that your marketing is speaking to the frustration that they're having overall, the thing that you've been through, because a lot of times it's stuff we've been through that we help with, and bringing that in. I mean, there's just something, I'm like you, there's something magical about my 90-minute deep dive, about the one-on-one, the first one-on-one that we do, where we see them come in like a wet shaking chihuahua, and they leave like with their shoulders down and as huge exhale. And you're like, I just helped them change the trajectory of their business. Not I did it, because they have to go do the work. Like I can't do the work for them. But when they see that plan and that we've created together, because it's not just something I hand to them. So it's like you, right? You don't just hand it to them. You take a look at the whole situation and assess it, looking at it the whole picture. How did you get into marketing in the first place? I didn't even ask you that at the beginning, but what's your kind of origin story?
Yeah, I mean, so, God, I don't even know what year, but one of my first jobs, first proper jobs, was in a call center. Love it. So fun. So I was doing cold calls and sales and stuff. So that was like my intro to the marketing and sales world. Shit, man, that was a wild ride.
I can't believe we both did. I can't believe you did that too. I've never found anybody else who used to do cold calling.
Have you not?
Oh
No way.
No, I have. I did for 8 hours a day for my first business, so that's wild. Yeah, no, I haven't talked to many who've done it, but probably, well, anyway. Yeah.
It definitely tests you. But I was selling loft insulation for a company, very glamorous. And then I got headhunted to go to a corporate. Yeah. And that was when I was 17. So that was like, I was pretty young, and I went straight into corporate, and then I got headhunted then to go into more of a high-end corporate company. That was less like sleazy, and that was actually more professional, and I started to learn about marketing. And from that moment was really, really interested in marketing and the psychology behind marketing.
Yes.
But I was
Yes.
also seeing how it can be used for bad. And that
Yes.
was the best, most interesting learning experience that I had, because I am a little hippie at heart. You know what I mean? I think marketing can be used for good, and I think it can be used for bad, like
Yes.
anything, right? You know, I can drink water out of this cup and hydrate myself, or I can take it and bash someone over the head with it. But you know, my choice. It's like, I'm obviously not going to bash someone over, but everything can be used for good and bad.
Well, whew, thank God.
If I've had a bad day, okay, if you catch me on a bad day, I'll be there with my freaking Stanley cup.
Get you with that water bottle.
Oh man, why are we so unserious? Anyway,
hello. We've had to pretend serious our whole fucking lives. Like, I don't want to pretend serious anymore. This is real.
It's exhausting.
It's
exhausting.
So good. So good.
But yeah, I really started to learn about it there. I was reading all the books, and I was just super interested in it. And then I had all that marketing knowledge, started my first spiritual business, which was when I did like Reiki healing, tarot reading. It was a bundle of fun. And that was an offline business. Then I became a coach, and I went online. I started off in the personal development and spiritual kind of world. And then very, very shortly after, I joined a bad, like probably this was in my first 6 months of being in online business. I joined a really, really crappy coaching program where no one got what they paid for. And people in that program, I felt so bad. And this is just the kind of person that I am and was to my detriment. I felt so bad for people, and I knew more than the coach at the time. And I thought, oh my God, these people haven't got what they paid for. I'll be all right. Like, I'm still pissed, but I'll be okay. And I was coaching these people who were like left in the ether, lost, like no clue what to do. And then more people started asking me, can you help me with my business? And that's how I originally got into business coaching. Then I specified in marketing. Then I went on later down the line to pivot to neurodivergent entrepreneurs, and now I'm where I am. So that's my origin story in a very small nutshell.
That's a great origin story, because a lot of ADHDers become accidental entrepreneurs. And we get to a certain point in our business where we have been raw dogging it the whole time. And then we hit up against this wall where it's like, it just won't move anymore from where you are. And that's just lack of knowledge. That's not lack of ability. That doesn't mean you're stupid or wrong or an idiot or any of the things your brain tries to call you. It's the fact that you don't know what you don't know. Right. And so that's when coaching and mentorship comes in. You know, I finally got that thought back from way earlier when I was in my first cohort. When I was in my first cohort, I remember thinking, how are all these, before I got in the cohort, I'm thinking, how are all these bad bitches doing this? Like, they are so badass. They're just doing all this shit. And I'm thinking, just them. For some reason, in my little peanut of a head, I believed that they were doing all of it. And so when I got into my coaching cohort with my first coach, Susan Hay, which, hey, Susan Hay, we love her from Damon Hart. And she's like, and then my copywriter this, and I was like, wait, what? I'm all, squeeze me what did you say? I couldn't hear you. I think I have an ear infection. Like, I could not understand this. And that was a magical moment, like the first one in my business, because I was like, oh, let me scale back to the things I can do. Then I had the opposite, which was, let me hand everything off because I'm a moron. Right. Then there's that reckoning when you realize you have ADHD, when you're diagnosed with ADHD, and you're like, oh my gosh, I have been capable the whole time. I just have all this shit that has told me I'm not, because I think of doing it differently, but that doesn't make it wrong. That's a whole different rage that comes up, which that's a whole another podcast episode I think we could probably have if you want to come back. For sure.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, because
sure.
I definitely have found some more things about the self-trust gap that ran way deeper than I realized, and so I'm even more excited to talk about it now more than ever. But I just think that we that next shift came for me when I realized I had ADHD. That's why none of my marketing was working. None of it was hitting. Like I was trying to speak to somebody that I didn't actually have a name for. I thought it was high functioning anxiety. That wasn't it. So then I had this moment where I'm like, oh, and then the other pieces clicked in and I was like, oh, okay, now I see. And being relieved of thinking I don't have to be 74 people, or maybe I have to be 74 people for a little bit, and then it's 72 people. You know what I mean? It's like you get to start, you figure out, you start automating, you start figuring out back-end systems. You know, it's like, those are the things that I think when you're newer in business, you don't realize. And if you start your business and start it on Instagram, you also may not realize there are so many other avenues for neurodivergent people to market and get regular clarity calls being booked or regular conversations being started. And I just, I want to remind everybody that the first 2 years of Spanx with Sarah Blakely, you know, she was out there hoofing it and getting everything known. But let's be clear, once that brand was able to be visible, she could go and do whatever she wanted, right? So getting that kind of visibility that works for you and feels good for you in those first couple of years, I think is actually important. And having someone like you to teach that, hey, there's this other way. You think this is the only way, but this could be a little part of it. This could be no part of it all. I love what you do, Polly. I love what you do, because there are so many founders who need it, who think they're so boxed in and afraid to learn something new, right? Because they're like, no, this is familiar. This is what I know. When the thing that's maybe new is going to get them 10 times the results.
Yeah. So you're so right. And like, just going back to, I wish if there was like one thing that I could go back and remind myself that was actually the most damaging to the way that I felt about myself when I was first kind of in that building the foundations part of business, it would be what you kind of touched on about like this expectation when we don't realize like these people that we look up to have teams, and you really don't realize. And do you know what, there's even days that I have to really remind myself of that now, I think we spoke about this before, like having a big team and having a multi-million-dollar a year business isn't actually something that I want, because yes, of course I do my work to earn a living and to earn good money, great money. But I also do it because it gives me satisfaction, and I know I would hate my business if I lacked on quality. And actually, I know we were speaking about scaling earlier, and there are times where I have to remind myself of that now when I look at the future of NFSA, and I'm like, how am I going to manage 100 people in this group program, this hybrid one-to-one group program? And then I'm like, I'm not going to have 100 people in there at a fucking time, because I don't want 100 people in there at a time, because then it's a membership again. And I don't want that. I want it to be like a real intimate space. And so, you know, something that I really decided this year is like, I'm not going to aim for goals that just suck me of all of my inspiration for the sake of earning more money, because I just don't see the point. It's like there's a certain bracket of money for me, like on a yearly basis, that going over and above that would have to like be really worth it, because I know the amount of effort and energy that comes with that. And I know that there's this like common belief of like, you don't have to work harder to earn more money. And there is truth to that if you have the right systems in place, if you have a team, maybe sometimes, but you do. That's the thing. You actually do have to at some point put more work in and work differently and you know, change the way you work to earn more money. I hate the way that it's positioned of like, I think I know the place people are coming from when they say that, but it's not true, especially for ADHDers who have very busy brains. It doesn't feel like easy breezy, I'm going to be a millionaire. It's like, fuck it. You know that obviously from your...
And there's, and there's things that come with getting more money. It's like, okay, I've got more money. Now can I hold it? Does it freak me out? Like, you've heard of those lottery winners who win multi-million dollars and a couple of years later, they're fucking broke. It's like, how? Well, because they just were going through life the way they'd always gone. And they're used to the discomfort of having nothing. And that's their default setting just as humans without them realizing it. And then it just goes, right? So I think that you know, we have impulsivity, but that doesn't mean that we cannot do things with intention. And impulsivity is actually just creativity in disguise. And so if you
Yeah.
take that and make it and create in ways that feels good to you, you know, that doesn't feel so mind-numbingly difficult. That's why our businesses are heavy. They get heavy when we keep the masks on. That's number one. It's one of the heaviest things you're going to carry in your fucking business is your masking.
Yeah. For sure.
And just, you know, it's like it gets to be so much lighter. And I think that there's so much noise that when women like us have these conversations and say, okay, yeah, no, it's not just me that thinks this way. It's not just you that thinks this way. And that there's another way to do this for neurodivergent people. And that makes our brain feels good. It like scratches that brain inch. We're like, yeah, it feels good. That exists. And what's great is people like you, Polly, who are out there marketing that and talking about it and not just doing that, but living it. That's different.
Yeah.
Like if you're on Instagram teaching and you're all up in your stories and you're doing that and you're all there, it's like you're teaching how to not be on Instagram by being on Instagram, which I understand is a funny paradox, but we still want to have a little presence there. But you have your pinned post and you have your presence there and your links are there. So if people want to find you, but yeah, this was a great fucking conversation.
It really was.
So much. I just freaking adore you, Polly. I'm so glad. You know where I found Polly? I was on Threads reading through and she's like, I want to have podcast guests. And I'm like, hey, excuse me. Hey, I know a person. She let me be her first guest on her podcast, right? Yeah. But I love learning from other neurodivergent people because our brains are so fucking clever. Yeah. And so for you to actually be able to put a program together that has a full transformation for them to go from one thing to another that really works and feels good on them, their brain, their nervous system, all that jazz. Like there are ways to run your business, and I don't say this anecdotally, that make you feel like you almost don't have ADHD.
Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
It's so, but it's a real thing. Like you may, if you're listening right now and you're like, fuck off, Carrie, that's not real. Yes, it is. It is. Yeah. You just have to, there's 4 zones to grow. There's the comfort zone, then there's the fear zone, then there's the learning zone, then there's the growth zone. And people are like, get out of your comfort zone. No, get out of your fear zone. That's where you start learning. And then when you learn, then you can do the growth. So I just adore you, Polly. And if there's one thing that my clients or my people listening here can take away from you about their marketing, what would you want to leave them with?
I think off social media speak, I think I really just want to touch back on what I was saying about looking at your unique strengths and look at what you find the most joy in doing and how you find the most joy in creating. Like for me, showing up just as an example, showing up on a podcast and doing these long conversations, for me, recording my own podcast and really teaching in depth, email where I can teach in depth. I love that. And I will never resent any of my work. But in the past, you know, I would look back the day after posting a piece of social media content. I'd be like, fucking hate it. Like and it's not a me. I don't hate myself in that. I just don't like what I've created. Yeah. And so I would really look at where you feel the most lit up. And then I would also look at where your ideal client actually is going to be hanging out, because it's a waste of time on platforms that you're not, you know, if you're, you know, doing like services for OAPs and you're posting on Instagram, you're probably not going to attract OAPs. You know what I mean? Like pensioners, old people. So they're probably not going to be scrolling. I mean, they might. But you know, that's a very extreme example. But
they might be more on like Facebook, or
they might be. Yeah.
You know, like exactly. It's being intentional. Look, we have energy ebbs and flows. So we have to be intentional with our energy so that it's allowed to ebb and flow within our business. Because if we do not set our businesses up for that ebb and flow, we are setting ourselves up to keep hitting walls. And Polly and I are here to tell you don't have to do that. You literally do not have to do that. No. So tell the lovely people where they can find you, Miss Polly. Where can they find you? What's the easiest way to reach out to you? How can they get on your email list? I'm going to put that link in my show notes, because anybody who wants to know Polly, it sounds like that's one of the best places to hang out with her. So
yes. Yeah. Definitely is. I mean, so my email list, what I'll do, I'll give you the link to this weekly co-working coaching. I keep calling it co-working, but it's actually not that anymore. It's community coaching, where you can literally come and get feedback and coaching from me. And then that will put you on my email list as well.
Awesome.
So that's every week. We're going to be doing that from April 8th. And then in terms of how to work with me, obviously that's my program, the Neuro-Friendly Sales Accelerator. You can message me on Instagram. Obviously, I'm not on there posting, but I'm still there for DMs. So you can just hit me up with any questions at Polly Pollock Official, and then I'll send you the link to pop in the show notes for the main page as well. And then my podcast is probably the best place to soak up all my content. And that's the Neuropreneur Rising podcast.
Yes. And your opening slide makes me just want to, where it's the Neuropreneur and it's that pretty pinkish kind of mauve swirl. And I'm just like, it's just so soothing. I
love that.
Every time I see it, I'm just like, I feel like I should be in some Zen, bowls, sound bowls.
Oh, a little sound bath.
Sound bath. Yeah, I'm having trouble finding words right now. The other day I was trying to say golf club and I said golf bat because you can swing a bat. Words were not wording.
When you have one of those days, which is like me every day, where the words are just, oh my God, they
words are not wording. Yeah, no. Exactly. And then one final question that I now have started asking all my guests, and you're the first one. All my guests, and you're the first one asking.
Yay.
Who's your favorite band and why?
Oh my gosh. Okay, right. So, this is such a good question. I feel like people never ask me.
I'm wearing my Haim t-shirt here, so
Oh, sick. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have a Green Day tattoo here. So, they are my favorite all-time band. Yeah,
and of course like American Idiot, right? Have you seen American Idiot, the show?
Yes, but I've seen recordings of it. But man, so the album American Idiot is my favorite album of all times. It's just like the whole thing. I just love it so much. It's like a freaking work of art. But that album really got me through my teenhood. And so it's a really important album to me. But they are my favorite band of all time. I also love Arctic Monkeys. They're probably like one of my other favorite bands. Pink Floyd, Fleetwood Mac. I'm very much into my rock, but yeah, Green Day are my faves.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you for spending this hour with me, and it's such a pleasure. I just adore you. I swear, all of the pink-haired ladies find me, and they're always the ones that I freaking tend to fall in love with so much. My business besties, they both have pink hair. You have pink. I'm just like, I don't know, something about the pink ladies that I just adore. So thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. And I will end this right now so that I can put all my end stuff on there. Awesome. But I will stop our recording.
Yay!
Stopping recording. Yay! Oh, hey, you're still here. Thank you for listening all the way to the end. Be sure to check out the show notes for all the ways to follow me. And of course, my goal is to find and help as many women with ADHD get away from the 9-to-5 grind, because it's just not designed for our neurospicy brilliance, and there are other ways to do life. So by subscribing, sharing, and giving a 5-star review, it helps other women find this podcast as well. And if there's an episode you really love, please feel free to take a screenshot and share it on your social and tag me in it so that I can thank you personally. Until next time, you spicy brained unicorn. Bye.